Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. We have a tarot reading we're going to do together today, and it's just so funny because I was having one of those mornings where I felt like I have a million things to get done. I don't know how to prioritize all of them. And I sat in meditation and just kind of let things filter and clear out. And I just felt called to record a tarot reading, and I haven't recorded one for YouTube in a long time, and I just know and I trust that when I get these callings, these inklings to do stuff like this, it's because someone needs to hear it, and I just trust that. So if you're here, welcome. I think there's a reason why you're here. Maybe there's something I have to offer you in this reading, but let's just take a moment together and close the eyes and take a full, big body inhale in. Slow exhale out through the mouth. Another big, full body inhale. Exhale through the mouth. On your next inhale, hold at the top briefly. And in this hold, imagine all of the energy that's no longer serving you gathering up, circulating at the top of the head. And as you exhale, let it empty all the way out, clearing the mind, making space for your intuition, your higher, wiser, knowing self. And let's see what wants to come through. All right, quite a few cards out the gate here. Interesting. We have the Eight of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Cups reversed. And then we also have the Five of Swords. There's an energy of an ending here. Walking away, because we have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups reversed, I am getting an energy of two people, a masculine and a feminine. And with the King of Cups reversed, it feels like the masculine is maybe having a harder time letting go and walking away. Or perhaps the masculine is handling this in a less emotionally mature way than the feminine. It's like I'm getting this sense of strong direction from the feminine, from this Queen of Cups energy. It feels like this really strong connection to what the feminine's heart wants and needs. The direction of desire is less oriented towards other and more oriented towards self. And I feel like this may be disconcerting to the masculine, to the other person in this dynamic, because I feel like maybe they are, at least in this chapter, feeling less centered in themselves. There's a lot of mental battle around this. Five of Swords, it's like, it feels like there's this, with the Eight of Cups and the Five of Swords, I'm just getting this energy of like needing to stay to prove a point. It's like the feminine is on her way, but the masculine, it's like, there's like this energy of needing to prove a point. And they're not ready to walk away yet because they feel like there's something more that they need to prove. Let's see what else comes out here. We have the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. I mean, whatever this, and I don't even really get the vibe of like a full-blown separation or anything. It just feels like maybe even a temporary growing in different directions. The Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords fell out right on top of the Queen of Cups, which it feels really resonant with what I was saying before. There's this sense of direction and this like really heightened awareness of one's own needs and what you bring to the table, or what the feminine in this dynamic brings to the table, that feels really evident and clear. It feels really grounded, and that is also what's orienting the feminine towards this passionate chapter, this like really driven time of life. I want to see a little bit more, Spirit, about what's going on here with the masculine in this dynamic. We have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords and Strength reversed. Yeah, it feels like there's just this disconnection from the truth. It feels like a disconnection from their truth. The masculine is not sure of where their strengths really lie. There's something I feel, it's not, the Seven of Swords doesn't feel like a truth that they're withholding from the other person in this dynamic. It feels more like a truth they're withholding from themselves. Like, it feels like there's just a lot of disconnection from their own inner compass. And it's like they want to show up, but they just don't know how to do that with the resources they currently have. It feels like this just a disconnection from their inner strength, and it's causing a lot of internal disillusionment. Like, it's just, I feel like they are in a time of their life that they just don't really know who they are. And I think because the feminine in this dynamic is really confident and assured in who they are and where they want to go, this is really triggering. And maybe for some of you, this is like, this could be like an actual, like, you're going opposite directions, maybe you're separating. It could just be a temporary time of, like I was saying before, kind of growing in different directions. It doesn't have to be the ending of something. But I just lost my train of thought. It could also just be that, like, this could be a really pivotal moment for the King of Cups, seeing the feminine in her power. It just feels like it's triggering a little bit, where it's like maybe they're just afraid. Maybe the separating hasn't even happened. Maybe this hasn't even been in your conscious awareness at all, but I think it has been for the King of Cups. It's been this like, oh, I see her. I see the feminine. It doesn't have to be female and male, but like seeing the feminine in her power and in connection with what she wants is really triggering for this King of Cups. It feels like, oh my God, maybe they're just awakening to like, whoa, she really knows what she wants. I feel like I don't know what I want. And I mean, there's a lot to sort out here. Let's see what else wants to come through. Yeah, we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So it's like this, it's like action wants to be taken. But there's this footing that needs to be found first. It's like looking ahead to the future and really thinking about, what do I want this to look like? How can I start to plan out these action steps so that when the time comes, when the Strength card comes in the upright for the King of Cups, maybe when the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords become reversed, when we're out of the head, we're not questioning oneself anymore, then there's this point where it's like, I know exactly what to do. I know the action to take. But the Two of Wands is this like preliminary energy. It's not the action taking energy yet. It's like figuring things out before action is taken. And so, but it feels like there is a shared desire here to like find that shared horizon. We have the Four of Cups. Yeah, just some general feeling of disappointment right now. So for some of you, this could be manifesting as a desire to walk away or leave, or just feeling unfulfilled. But we have the Judgment card that just came out right after that, which is this reawakening. It is this rebirth. It is this calling on your values and your morals, and taking a higher, wiser perspective of what's going on. Where is the imbalance? Where is the disappointment coming from? Where is the friction coming from? How can we maybe together like level out the playing field a little bit more? And not because leveling out the playing field or balance itself needs to be 50-50. I do not believe that balance is ever really, I mean, sometimes it's 50-50, but I think a lot of the time it's like this constant ebbing and flowing. Like, we're just always finding balance in our personal lives, in our relationships. It's like life keeps moving. Life is so dynamic. We are dynamic beings. And so to expect balance to look like 50-50 all the time for ourselves and with our relationships with others, I feel like is a disservice to like what leveling out the playing field actually looks like, to what finding a reciprocal energy and relationship actually can look like. At the bottom of the deck here, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So I really also think it's possible that this time, even if there is an actual walking away that happens, an actual separation, it feels like this time could be serving for a long-term foundation, whether that's between the two people in this dynamic or not. Like, there is this feeling of foundation building. There are lessons to be learned here that are really rooted in reality. I feel like this is also a time of really rooting into reality versus fantasy, what you want things to be, what you hoped for things to be. It's like, what can this actually be? And can we make that happen from the ground that we're working with right now, with the resources we're working with right now? Okay, we have the 10 of Wands reversed and the 7 of Cups reversed. So there is a deep, deep need for clarity of choice and a release of what's heavy, of what's no longer serving. You know, I kind of feel like the 7 of Cups falls on the Queen of Cups. The responsibility of getting really clear, even more clear than the feminine may already be, about what the desire is, where the imbalance is, how things can become more reciprocal in this dynamic and with oneself. And I feel like the 10 of Wands reverse is the responsibility that falls on the masculine, of like, what are you carrying that just simply doesn't need to be carried anymore? Like, it feels like there's just some unnecessary heaviness here. Maybe just from past experiences, past relationships, long-standing narratives of unworthiness, perhaps, that just like, it's not necessary in this dynamic, because I also am getting a really strong sense of genuineness here in this connection, like really seeing each other for who you are. Like, it feels like there's a shining of the light on each other, and there's like a genuine love and a genuine care. But there's just like, it just feels like there's some outdated like baggage, more or less, that it's just like, it's become baggage, where it's like, yes, we all carry things, we all have things that we've experienced in our lives that inform our present moment. And also at some point, sometimes those things become baggage because we add more weight to it than we need to. We hold on to it longer than we need to. We make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. And I just am getting this message of like, just let go of what is unnecessarily heavy, so that the clarity of choice can be shared, so that you can both feel really clear in choosing this dynamic and in choosing this connection, choosing a shared horizon and choosing this shared, strong, like, longevity, this sense of longevity, of this really strong foundation. I'm actually going to pull from the Oracle now just to get any final messages. What advice is most important for this dynamic, Spirit? What advice is most important? We have message in a bottle. Now let's see if there's anything else that wants to come through. Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So starting with message in a bottle. This is communication. There's something that it feels like a come to Jesus moment, for lack of better terms. Like it feels like okay, we need to sit down and talk. We need to communicate, because we also have clean it up and reversed, which is like, what I'm getting from this is almost the feminine being like, this is not mine to carry. This is yours to carry. This is yours to sort through. And I want that for you. I want you to sort through that. And we also have here and now reverse. So I feel like this conversation could be about like, we can't look too far in the future. We need to start where we are. And we have to be fair in reverse. So it's like, yeah, it's just this imbalance. Things are imbalanced right now. And I feel like it's, what I get from the to be fair card reverse though, is this like, this is coming up to be looked at. This is coming up to be sorted through, so that there is more of that balance, that strong foundation to be found. We have poised and flexible as well. And so the feminine in this dynamic has more flexibility available right now. So if that is you, the encouragement is to, I would offer just like a little bit more patience if you can. Patience with self, patience with this masculine, and know that like you have the capacity for that. And just because, and let me preface this by saying like, also because you have this capacity, be mindful, like just track like over time, as this rebalancing occurs. I'm getting a bit of a slow energy from the masculine, but it's like, so it's like, don't abandon your needs, don't abandon the things that you want and where you're headed. Like if at any point it feels like you are just like waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's like things aren't going anywhere, you're not seeing any signs of movement, like trust that you have the clarity within yourself to know when it's time to walk away truly. But I feel like there is some spaciousness here, that this doesn't have to be the end all be all. There's just a recalibration that needs to happen here, and a lot of that is just on the end of the masculine, like awakening to what no longer needs to be carried. And rather than seeing your growth as a threat, like seeing it as inspiration. So again, like the masculine, I feel like let me just gather myself. If you're the masculine in this dynamic, and maybe this reading has felt triggering for you, or maybe the feminine in this dynamic feels triggering for you, the invitation is to soften that, because all of that is really rooted in like these old wounds and this weight that doesn't need to be carried anymore. The invitation is to soften the feeling of threat and open up to inspiration. Open up to a new way of being through the mirror that this feminine holds. And if you are the feminine, like, don't be afraid to hold the mirror and stay really rooted in what it is that you bring to the table. You bring a bright light and a really clear mirror to the table of this dynamic. And you can stay oriented towards all the things that you want to do. But just give this masculine a little bit of time. Trust your inner compass, both of you, whoever you are. I feel like this is just a really valuable time of rebalancing and figuring out what needs to go. You got this, truly. Best of luck.